What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn responds to Jermall Charlo'S drunken rant yesterday, and he simply replies, well, that was cute because, of course, backstory, Jermall Charlo, said some tasteful, colorful things towards Eddie Hearn, along with Danny Jacobs, Demetrius Andrade, right? And he was basically, in his own way, I guess, calling them out, right? Which I don't really consider that a call out because, see me at the Wilder fight. That's not how you get fights done. Because it seems to me like he wanted to turn up. So he wanted to turn up, meaning he wanted to fight there. Like, if you're real about fighting me, turn up and show up at the Wilder fight. You know what that reminds me of, though? Why would you want someone to come to someone else's fight, right? In order for you to talk about fighting them, or fight them at this place, or maybe that's the only reason you wanted them to show up is because you wanted to improve the ticket sales, just to get a crack at you because you're the champ. Anyway, that's what I think the reason for that was. Come to the Wilder fight because I'll be at the Wilder fight. I don't stay on social media. So, if you guys are real about fighting me, Danny Jacobs, and the more I think about it, Danny Jacobs, he saw Danny Jacobs, and Danny Jacobs already told him, yeah, you're not even getting an M yet. I know what you're making. No, you don't know what I'm making. I know what you're making, baby boy, said Daniel Jacobs. Danny Jacobs pretty much told him what he's making. He pretty much told him what he is making. He told him, hey, I'm getting M's. You're not even getting that. Stay in your lane. So, the funny thing about Charlo, he calls Eddie Hearn a queer. He says, talk to Al. So Eddie Hearn was like, fine, I'll talk to Al, but you told me to inbox you or send you the contract. And he sent you the contract because Jermall Charlo was supposed to be his own boss. So if you're not your own boss, why are you telling that man to send you a contract and then going back and telling the public, social media, that, bitch, don't do that, I don't create fights, I don't make fights, or whatever, talk to Al? Well, obviously you're not your own boss then. Like I've been telling you guys, those guys don't run shit. They only pretend to run shit. You can have a banner and make a border with Lions Only Promotions on it. That doesn't mean it's a real company. Floyd Mayweather did that once upon a time with TMT, right? And that really wasn't a promotional company until 50 Cent made it a promotional company when Floyd was in jail. So a lot of guys do that. They front like they have a legitimate promotional company, like they manage themselves, like they are top shit, and they're really not, okay? And this proves that he's really not, because if he has to say, go through someone else to get a fight with me, that means he's not his own boss. That means he can't sit down with Eddie Hearn and look at that contract and say yay or nay. He has to go to someone else to get approval in order for that fight to happen. So, and the strange thing is, my counterpunch was exactly what Eddie Hearn said this morning. Well, why didn't he just say that in the email? Go fuck off, queer. I don't make my own fights. Go talk to Al. Why didn't he say that in the email? Why didn't he say that on the reply? That's what I'm talking about. Again, it sounds like big chicken shit. It's just Eddie smoother than talking it, and he doesn't want to be as tasteful as I am. Again. But that's exactly what Jermall Charlo could have done. But it shows you that he couldn't even do that. Like I said, he couldn't even reply back to him. He could say that on social media to tell that guy to talk to another guy that's really in charge of me, rather than tell that guy, hey, talk to that guy. So you can't even tell Eddie Hearn to talk to Al Heyman? You know what I mean? But I guess it looks more It looks more ballsy when he says, hey, he tells the social media, bitch, quit contacting me. Okay, that doesn't sound good. And you know what? If he's doing stuff like that, really, honestly, how serious is he about actually making business, doing business with Eddie Hearn? See, stuff like that, when you look at people when they react in that type of way, in that kind of way, that lets you know they're not serious about negotiations. They're not serious about getting any fight made honestly. They want to give whatever Al Heyman gives them, and that's going to be that, and that's good enough for them. Those guys are getting money for doing nothing. Why not? Right? If you weren't trying to be the best, if people can give you, if the WBC can just throw you a belt, why? So shit, I don't blame Jermall Charlo. If the WBC could just give me a belt and I don't give a shit about fighting the best people, then I just want to check and I just want to floss shit and, you know, and turn up at clubs and be drunk and do drunken social rants and stuff like I want to fight people, and no, I really don't, because my boss is not allowing me to, or not even allowing me to, not making me fight the best. Okay, well, what's the problem? I don't see that there's a problem whatsoever about what Jermall's doing. He just is not the best. He doesn't want to fight the best, and Al Heyman is not making those guys fight the best fighters. That's all. But as long as he can call himself champ, that's okay. You know what I mean? Because that's the only thing we can go with, because, you know, for him saying that, blasting Eddie Hearn, he's not serious about a fight. You know, because not one thing in that drunken rant signified him actually wanting to fight any of those guys that he named. And that is Danny Jacobs or Demetrius Andrade. Yes, he talked shit about them. He insulted them. But did he talk about, hey, send the contract, sign the contract, or make the fight? You'll talk to Al. Okay, you think Eddie Hearn is going to stop? He's going to talk to Al Heyman. He's going to shoot Al Heyman what you told him to shoot him. Right? So, but Eddie Hearn, that is what he said, but, you know, sly and cordial as he did, like, hey, well, I'll just talk to Al Heyman then. But don't pretend to be your own boss when you know you're not. That's the moral of the story. You know, but that you, of course, we know that's the status quo over there. Man Down Promotions. That dude, Errol Spence doesn't own his own shit. You know, he has to talk to Al too, like all those other dudes. They are no different from one another. And the dudes that are, they stick out and they blast the dudes for being different. Right? Like Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs is still advised by Al Heyman, and his promoter is Eddie Hearn. Right? So he can do business with both people. So oh, you know, talk to Al and Al ain't letting us do that. Well, if he's not letting you do that, you got to ask yourself, do you really want that? Because it seems like these guys don't want to fight the best fighters. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Eddie Hearn's statements. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.